Hello everyone, welcome back to our Positive Discipline channel. Today we're diving into a topic that might surprise you. Why praising children, the traditional way, like saying you're so smart, can actually do more harm than good. Stick around because we're going to break down the science behind it and share practical research-backed ways to encourage children in a way that builds resilience and love for learning. So, let's get started. You might be wondering, what's wrong with telling a child that they're smart or talented? It sounds like a great way to boost their confidence, right? Well, research including the groundbreaking research from the psychologist Dr. Dweck shows it can backfire. Let's unpack why using insights from peer-reviewed studies. First, traditional praise often focuses on fixed traits like intelligence or talent. For example, saying, "You're a natural at math." Carol Dweck's research in a 1998 study found that when children are praised for being smart, they developed what is called a fixed mindset. This means they start believing their abilities are set in stone or static or unchangeable. So when they hit a tough problem, they might think, "I'm not smart enough," and give up. In her study, fifth graders praised for intelligence were less likely to tackle challenging tasks and showed less persistence compared to children praised for effort. Pretty eye-opening, isn't it? It's not just about academics. Dweck and her colleagues found that praising children as a whole person, like saying, "You're a good kid," after they fail, can make them feel ashamed or helpless. You might be wondering, but why? Because it feels like their whole worth is being judged. On the flip side, praising the process, like their effort or strategies, help children to stay resilient. And there is more proof. A 2013 study that followed children from ages 1 to 3 and checked in 5 years later found that those children whose parents used process praise, like "you worked so hard on that," were more likely to have a growth mindset by grade 2. That means they loved challenges and kept trying even when things got tough. Meanwhile, children praised for being smart were more likely to avoid risk to protect their gifted image. So, why does traditional praise cause these issues? Let's break it down a little bit further. The first reason is that it creates a fixed mindset. Praising innate traits reinforces the belief that abilities are fixed, which leads to children prioritizing appearing competent over learning. This mindset makes them vulnerable to setbacks as they interpret difficulty as a sign of inadequacy. A second reason is that it undermines intrinsic motivation. Traditional praise can make children dependent on external validation, which reduces their intrinsic drive to learn for its own sake. A 2007 study found that children praised for being smart were less motivated to engage in tasks without the promise of further praise compared to those praised for their efforts. The third reason is that it creates pressure to perform. Intelligence-based praise places pressure on children to consistently prove their abilities, which can lead to anxiety and avoidance of challenging tasks. A 1999 study showed that students with a fixed mindset were more likely to reject learning opportunities if they risk revealing deficiencies. Fourth and final reason is that it distorts self-perception. Excessive or indiscriminate praise can inflate self-esteem unrealistically, which sets children up for disappointment when they face reality. A 2003 study found that high self-esteem from unearned praise did not improve performance and could foster arrogance or fragility when faced with failure. So, traditional praise can be harmful, but don't worry. There are better ways to encourage your children to build their confidence and love for learning. These come straight from Positive Discipline Strategies and Dweck's research. Let's go through 5 practical tips you can start using today. Our first tip is to use process praise. Instead of saying, "You're so smart," try, "I love how hard you worked to solve that puzzle," or you tried a new strategy and it paid off. This strategy focuses on their efforts or actions, which they can control. Dweck's research showed that children praised this way were more likely to embrace challenges and keep going. Our second tip is to highlight learning and progress. Even if the result isn't perfect, say something like, "You've gotten so much better at tying your shoes by practicing." A 2007 study showed that focusing on progress helps children improve over time, especially when things get tough. Our third tip is to normalize struggle and mistakes. Tell your children, "It's okay if this is hard. It means your brain is growing." Or, "What can we learn from this mistake?" Dweck and her colleagues' research have shown that embracing mistakes builds resilience and helps children see challenges as opportunities. Our fourth tip is to encourage self-reflection. Ask your children questions like, "What did you do to figure that out?" Or, "How did it feel to keep trying?" A 2007 study found that children who reflect on their efforts stay more engaged and persistent. Our fifth and final tip for today is to model the growth mindset to yourself. Share your own learning moments. Like you might say, "This recipe was tricky, but I kept trying and it worked out." A 2020 study showed that when parents model growth mindset behaviors, it rubs off on their children. So you might be wondering, how do you put this into practice? It's important to be specific with your praise, such as, "I saw you kept trying different ways to build that towel." Combine praise with guidance, like suggesting how to improve an essay. It's also important to create a safe space for your children to take risk and make sure that you and their teachers are on the same page with this process-focused approach. Oh, it's also important to avoid overpraising. Keep it sincere, or your children might not trust it. That's it for today. By swapping traditional praise for these positive discipline strategies, you can help your children develop resilience, a growth mindset, and a love for learning. If you found this helpful, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and let me know in the comments section how you encourage your children in your life. And it's important too, if you have friends or family who you think may benefit from this video and the content of this channel, please share the video and the channel with them. Thank you so much for joining us, and goodbye for now.